Well, plans for a new high-speed rail route through Warwickshire still on track, despite the spending review. And during the course of the show this morning, Marion's plotting the path of the route, and she started at Stoneleigh. She's heading towards Kenilworth, and we'll catch up with her in just a couple of minutes' time. Now, today, campaigners against the plan to go into Westminster to lobby MPs. Chris Stokes is a former executive director of the Strategic Rail Authority and a former board member of the Office of Rail Regulation, and he's going to be speaking at the lobby today. Morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Just outline what it is that you'll be saying at the lobby today.
I think basically that the business case that the government's put forward, the report that HS2 Limited, the company it's set to develop the route, is not robust. Firstly, it doesn't make money. It will cost £17.8 billion to build, and once it's built, it will actually make a profit day by day, but the operating profits rolled over, actually, would you believe it, a 60-year project life. The operating profits only cover 42% of the capital costs, so it will cost a lot of money.
So just to outline, in layman's terms, then, if you wouldn't mind, you're saying that 17.8 billion will never be repaid?
That's absolutely right, and those aren't my figures, those are the figures published by the government.
That's quite a strong case you got there, isn't it?
I think so, because there are a number of other risks. Even that not very good financial result actually assumes very high growth of 267% in passengers on the West Coast corridor. That's 3.5 times more than now.
What of the argument that British industry needs this? We need to show that we're at the forefront of technology, of investment, and of public transport as well, and British business will benefit overall.
Well, I don't believe that it will create enormous regeneration. If you take Coventry as an example, it's a very good example. At present, there's a train every 20 minutes between Coventry and London. The journey time is an hour. Now, you know, if Coventry had a high-speed station, and by the way, it won't, it will end up with a less frequent service, probably only 1 hour from Coventry to London. But if Coventry had a high-speed station, the hour's journey time might go down to 45 minutes. I don't know that anyone would seriously, honestly believe that that is going to make an enormous difference to the prosperity of the city.
As a region, supposedly, then, let's broaden it out slightly, as a region, Coventry and Warwickshire, and more broadly, a region as the West Midlands, business leaders tell us, would benefit from that, and clearly you don't go along with that at all.
Not to the extent that it justifies that sort of expenditure. Again, remind everyone, it's 17.8 billion. And by the way, it's not planned to be open until 2026. So you've got an awful long time to wait for the benefits. I think the country could get a better bang for its buck by, for example, increasing capacity, longer trains on the existing route, way before then.
Isn't the infrastructure just not up to any further expansion, though? We see enough delays on the trains as it is.
Well, statistically, actually, the service is running very well now, much better than it was. So the infrastructure is settling down on the West Coast route, and there are other ways of increasing capacity. I mentioned longer trains. This could actually increase the number of seats by 65%. Before you have to start spending money on the infrastructure, it's what you believe about future growth. To give you another example of the danger of forecasts, the existing high-speed line in Britain, which is the line from London to the Channel Tunnel, which is superb if you go onto it. Everybody who uses it knows that. But in 1998, it was forecast to carry, Eurostar were forecast to carry 25 million passengers by 2006. It's done everything it's supposed to, you know. The great majority of people who travel from London to Paris go on Eurostar. It's much better than air. It carries many more people. But even so, the actual numbers carried in 2009 against the 25 million in 2006 were only 9.2 million.
So these forecasts, what you're saying is these forecasts are a way out, even kind of existing forecasts then?
Well, they're very high risk. And, you know, who knows what the country will look like in 2026.
Really briefly to finish with, Chris, how confident are you of some sort of result from your lobbying today and overall the ongoing lobbying?
Well, government's clearly going to develop the scheme further, and I think early next year we'll publish more detailed consultation. It will be a long process, but I think we have to work at getting the best result for the country.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time this morning. Do appreciate it. Chris Stokes, a former Executive Director of the Strategic Rail Authority, former board member of the Office of Rail Regulation. They're lobbying Parliament today. As I mentioned, Marion is on the route, the proposed route of the high-speed rail line through Warwickshire. As she started at Stoney, she's making her way to Kenilworth. We'll catch up with her fairly shortly.
People of the UK!
14 for Leamington now.
Delivers tripe to us, which we do stop about what they're eating, and that puts them up.
Once you manage to get around that, Lionel, thanks for the call.
Cheers.
Keep us up to date, won't you? Lionel, then give us a call just to update us on problems, and I'll bring us news of problems. More with Kiara in just...
That's around Swan Street and the A445 Coton End. If you see a problem, call us. Work. It's between Junction 12. The Royal Navy submarine, which ran aground.
But the fact that it survived the spending cuts has angered those who live in Warwickshire and say the line will decimate their villages and their livelihoods too. They're heading to London today to lobby Parliament, arguing the plans are a waste of money.